think, or does the White House think, that it's breaking the law?
So look, I'm going to be careful here. I cannot speak to the law. I know that I know comments have been made about a particular governor who's now a candidate who has been accused of sending these migrants. So I want to be really careful because he's a candidate. So I want to follow the Hatch Act. So those are the two.
His action as a governor.
No, I just want to be. I still have to say this and be very, very careful. And what I will say more.
It's about his action as a governor.
Okay, all right. I'm just also being clear that he's also a candidate, and so I want to be careful and also just put that out there for the American people.
Good one. Does the president have any role in the decision to scramble F-16s, or is that process self-contained? Does NORAD and DOD, NSC?
So what I can say for sure is that the president was they're certainly briefed and throughout the process and kept abreast. Can't speak to the exact process and what comes first and how it all runs down. Clearly, this is the Department of Defense that kind of certainly led this operation, but can't speak to where the president kind of engaged or not. I can tell you that he was certainly kept abreast.
What is President Biden's top domestic priority?
Well, we've always been very clear that his economic policy is something that's important, especially when he walked into this administration. The economy was on its head because of the COVID response that was not existing and not with the last administration. And what the president had to do, right, to make sure that we were dealing with COVID, to make sure that we were dealing with the economy. And so he put forth, along with Democrats, and also in a bipartisan way, some historic pieces of legislation that turned the economy around.
Well, these matches say you're lying.
You said repeatedly here that the White House didn't want to comment on a private entity, but a quick search back through briefings in recent months finds that you commented on J.P. Morgan's merger or purchase of First Republic, and then you were asked last November about Elon Musk buying Twitter, saying we're going to keep an eye on that decision. Does the decision to not comment today have anything to do with the fact that the Secretary of State is in Saudi Arabia right now?
No, not at all. Not at all. We're just not going to comment on this. And look, I also said with Elon Musk, I also said the same thing that I said today, is that we're not going to comment on a private entity. I actually said those words as we talked about Elon Musk and Twitter. And so that's going to continue. We're not going to comment on this. We're going to focus on the American people. We're going to focus on what their needs are as it relates to American families, and as it relates to abroad, and also the Middle East as well. And so that's the president's focus right now. But I've always been very clear. We just are not going to comment on any types of mergers.
No.
And I know you pulled out those specific things, but I also continued and said, I'm just not going to comment on mergers or private entities.
What the hell is wrong with you people?
I know you won't comment on the case involving the president's son, but the president previously criticized the Supreme Court ruling that his legal team is preparing to use, should he be charged, as an affront to common sense and the Constitution. I just want to know if that statement from June of last year still holds, or if he is viewing that ruling in a new light.
I'm just not going to comment on this.
One more in the Discord leaks. There's a report in the Washington Post that the U.S. had reports that Ukrainians were planning an attack on the Nord Stream pipeline. Do you have any comment on the intelligence report of that? And there are also suggestions that Russia may have been responsible for that. Why was Russia initially, figures pointed at Russia when the U.S. might have had information that Ukrainians were planning this?
So I'm certainly not going to engage in a discussion about intelligence matters here from the podium, specifically with regard to that disclosure or any of the other. And in this case, certainly not going to speak to one that the Washington Post even said was not corroborated by U.S. intelligence agencies. Now, I think you know there are 3 countries conducting an investigation of the Nord Stream sabotage, and we called it sabotage at the moment: Germany, Sweden, and Denmark. Those investigations are ongoing. And again, the last thing that we're going to want to do from this podium is get ahead of those investigations.
And just to make sure we clear the record here, he tripped over a sandbag on the stage, and briefly he tripped and got up, and he got right back up and continued what he was there to do. He did not. There was no need for the doctor to see him as it was related to the fall, and he's doing fine. You saw some of you saw him last night when he returned, getting off of Marine One on the South Lawn.
Yes.
He spoke to this, so I would refer you back to his comments, and so I'll just leave it there.